Afternoon, everybody. Okay, I'm just gonna check that it's on the Facebook page. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so today's workshop is basically I'm going to cover the 3 most important things. Let me just double 1 second. Didn't seem to come up on my Facebook page. 1 sec. Here we go. We're in action. All right. Okay, so we're going to cover the 3 things that you need to do consistently in order to lose weight. Now, some people are going to find that they don't need to do all 3 of these things. You know, they have, they're blessed with amazing genetics, but if you're just starting out and your goal is weight loss, I want you to focus specifically on these 3 things and doing them all consistently over an extended period of time and see what happens. So what I find a lot is that clients generally will focus on one of these things and then the other 2 will kind of, you know, they won't focus on them at all, or they won't be doing them very well. So what kind of happens is, you know, you don't see the result as much as what you could possibly be. Whereas if you were doing, you know, all 3 of them and having all 3 covered, you would see more of a result. And I find they go through cycles where sometimes they'll get one of them, you know, another time that will kind of drop off and they'll get another one. So very important, and these things are very simple. I mean, it's not rocket science what I'm sharing with you, but you know, sometimes we need a little bit of a reminder about what's going to work. And, you know, you might need to remind yourself about what you need to maybe start focusing on a little bit more. You might be focusing on one part of your program, or, you know, one part, like for example, you know, some of my clients there might be focusing on just the strength training, you know, just strength training with me and our one-on-one training, instead of focusing on the aspects that they need to focus on themselves in their own time. That's going to help them to really speed up their results and get the results that they want. So these 3 aspects, very simple, but you know, sometimes we just focus on just one, but you need to get all 3 if you're going to see an amazing result. So the 3 things that I want you to try to focus on and try to get a little bit of each is, number 1 is your strength training or resistance training. Number 2 is cardio, getting some type of cardio in there every week. And number 3 is your food. Okay, so if you can focus on getting all of those 3 things into the mix. Now, we're not aiming for perfection, okay? So don't ever try to aim for perfection. We're not aiming for that, we're just aiming for consistency. So if you can consistently be eating well 80% of the time, if you consistently have some form of strength or resistance-based training in your week, and if you consistently get some cardio into your week, whether that be fasted fat burning cardio or high intensity interval training type of cardio, doesn't matter, whichever one you want to do. If you consistently get those 3 things in there, I'm telling you now, you're going to start to see a result. But what I find a lot of people just focus on, number 1, just say, for example, the exercise component, forgetting about their food, or they might be going really well with the exercise component, but their food's going to crap. So, you know, they're eating crappy food and bad habits have come back into the mix. Okay, so, or, you know, you could be really focusing on the food, but not doing any exercise, not doing any cardio to help your body burn the fat. So you need all 3 of those components to get the best results, and you need to do it consistently. So it's not good if you're only doing it for, if you do all those 3 for a week, right, and then fall off the wagon, what is the point? Okay, you've got to consistently do it. And like I said before, it's not about perfection. You know, yes, you're going to have weeks here and there that are not going to be perfect. Okay, that's quite all right, and it's quite normal. And in the grand scheme of things, a week here and there out of, say, for example, the normal 12-week period is nothing. Okay, it's not going to affect you to that extent. But if out of those 12 weeks, 8 weeks of that is total crap, of course you can't expect an amazing result, okay? So let's aim for consistency over perfection, but try to get a little bit of those things into the mix, making sure that you're eating probably 80% of the time, right? Get that strength training in there and the cardio. So I'm just going to go through each one very, basically to give you a little bit more understanding of why you need those 3 things and why it helps you burn fat, why it helps you lose the weight that you need to, so then you can really go for it and understand why you need to do it and make sure that you can include those things in there, okay? At the end of the day, though, if you are just starting out, what I suggest is just gradually bringing those habits and bringing them in very gradual into your lifestyle so you can maintain it. If you go from 0 to 100% within a week, you're not going to be able to maintain it properly. So very important to gradually increase exercise, gradually change your diet and your lifestyle, gradually add in more cardio. So yeah, you don't want to go from 0 to 100% because it leaves nothing much to kind of change in the end as well. So the first one, what I really want to focus on is obviously the eating side of it. As most of you probably have heard me say before, eating is so important. It's really going to get you the result that you want. If you've tried to lose weight before, you might have just focused on the exercise component of losing weight. The exercise only really counts for like 20% of your result. The other 80% is the food and what you're eating, okay? You cannot out-train a bad diet. And what I find is, and what I really want you to focus on is, I find that when most people start off with me, the problem is not necessarily that they're overeating. The problem is that they're not eating enough throughout the day and they're overeating at nighttime. But they're still not eating enough throughout the day, and they're actually, what they're doing is putting their body into starvation mode, okay? So just to give you a quick rundown about what starvation mode is. So starvation mode is, basically, just to give you an idea, our bodies are made to survive, okay? As human beings, our bodies are always adapting to different situations, different environments, and we're really great at surviving, and there's different systems in our body that helps us survive, okay? So starvation mode is a survival mode that your body automatically goes into. You're not even aware that it goes into that. And what happens is, because you're not eating on a regular basis, your body's thinking, okay, I'm not sure when I'm going to eat next. Our bodies are trying to survive, and we need food to survive. So what will happen is your body actually stores the food that you eat, okay, to make sure that you survive. So instead of your body actually using the food for energy, which it should, what starvation mode does, and when you stop eating and you're not eating enough, and you skip meals, you actually put your body straight into starvation mode, and any food that you actually eat, your body is storing. And most of the time it stores it as fat around the tummy, which is totally against what you are trying to achieve. That's why diets, low-calorie diets, even cutting out carbs, doesn't work. It's working against you. And I know a lot of people also, they think, okay, I want to lose weight, I want to cut out the carbs. Yes, cut out bad carbs, cut out the crap, but you still need the carbs for energy. Okay, you still need the carbs to help support your body in exercising, unless you're doing like a keto type diet. But I can imagine most people here are just trying to start with the basics, and you really just want to start losing weight, and you don't want to go on some diet that you have to, that's hard to start, and you feel like you're restricting yourself. You kind of just want to clean everything up to start off with. But first of all, you need to stop skipping meals. So important. And I know a lot of people think that by eating less you weigh less, and to a certain extent yes, but it's about eating less in each meal, but eating more meals. So essentially you are eating more, but eating less throughout the meals. Because what actually happens, and what most people do is, they might have breakfast, or they might skip breakfast. They might have a small lunch or whatever, and then if that. Most people average around 2 to 3 meals a day. And what happens is, you know, you have your lunch and say that's at 12 o'clock. By the time you actually get home, say for example you have your dinner around 7 o'clock, that's 7 hours your body has gone without any type of food. And I know I used to do this, and by the time I actually got home, I was so hungry. I ate everything in sight, and everything on my plate was like, my portion was huge, and I always wanted to eat carbs, so like things like pasta, you know, I always wanted to just, and things that were easy to prepare because I was starving, okay? But what I found is once I actually started to put in that mid-afternoon snack around about 3 p.m., I wasn't starving. I stopped craving the high carb stuff at nighttime, and my portion actually reduced, which is what we want to do, okay? If you eat regularly and you stop putting your body in starvation mode, your portions will naturally become smaller because you actually won't eat, you know, you'll eat till you're full. You actually won't be eating because you're like so starving and for other reasons, okay? You'll find your portions will naturally get smaller and you'll be eating less. You'll be eating more to kind of satisfy the hunger, rather than, you know, just eating because you haven't eaten all day and to fill the stomach, okay? So very important that you try to get a little bit of regularity with your meals. Stop skipping meals, stop skipping breakfast. You'll notice as well is that the days when you actually eat breakfast, that you actually are hungrier. And that's because what's happened is you've revved up your metabolism, okay? So the days that you don't eat breakfast, you'll find that you're actually not that hungry, and that's because your metabolism, you're not doing anything, your body's storing that food. So the hungrier you start to feel after a few hours, that's a key indicator to you, and it should be to you, to realize that your metabolism's going, right? And your metabolism's fired up. If you're not feeling hungry, start to question whether you're eating regularly enough, whether you're getting enough protein in your meals, okay? Whether you're firing up your metabolism. So very important that you get yourself out of that starvation mode. That's the number one thing I find that's stopping people from losing weight. They're got the wrong mindset. They think they need to, you know, starve themselves to lose weight. And initially, yes, you will, okay? If you're starving yourself, you will, but it's the wrong weight. And there will come a time where you will plateau and you'll be more skinny fat, okay? Our bodies will naturally go into a catabolic state when it's in starvation mode as well, where you'll start to break down muscle tissue and use that as energy. But if you're trying to create muscle tone and you want to have a toned body, you don't want to be skinny fat. So when I say skinny fat, what that means is skinny, right? Skinny, but flabby, okay? We want to be toned and skinny, but have nice, firm, you know, shoulders, muscles, okay? And get rid of the flab, right? And the way you do that is to stop your body from being in starvation mode all the time, increase the metabolism and increase fat burn, increase muscle mass in our body, okay? So it's a very technical way. It's not just a matter of, you know, eat less and starve yourself and then you'll lose weight. And yes, you might lose weight in the scales, but you lose a lot of water weight too. So very important that you stop putting yourself in starvation mode. Start eating properly for your body. Start eating to fuel your body, okay? Very important. So if you're not getting your diet right, if you've got your exercise going, you've got your cardio, but your food's off, you need to focus on the food, okay? And this is what this is about today, is to remind you about those three components, because, oh, we're going to lose, hang on, battery. If you're missing one of those components, oh, what's going on here? If you're missing one of those components, you know, you're going to find, here we go, you've got to find it very hard to get the result that you want. Let me just, one sec. Always happens, always happens. Okay, just lost you guys there for a sec. This always seems to happen. It's because, on Fridays, you know, I'm with clients all morning, so by the time, for some reason, by the time I finish, my phone's like almost dead and I don't have time to charge it. I think, you know what, I think I'm ready for a new phone probably. They do that, Apple, after every couple of years your battery starts to go. Anyway, okay, so back to what I was saying. Yeah, so very important that, you know, that you really focus on that food aspect, okay? I don't think most people understand how important it is and how much it can actually affect your result. Now, same with food, you're not aiming for 100% perfection, but if you can get it right 80% of the time, I mean, it's just going to be amazing. I remember the first time I I learned how to eat better and learned how to eat properly. I was just so much leaner, and I was exercising, but, you know, when I was studying my PT and I started to learn about eating and how it affected your weight loss, I just got so much leaner, and I never thought about it before, and I never realized how important it was. And I think most people don't understand how much it does actually affect the way you eat. They think that they can just out-train a diet. It just does not work that way. So focus on the food. If you're focusing on the exercise, change up your food a little bit and see what happens. Let me know. See what happens. Okay, so the second component, obviously, is the exercise component. Okay, so there's two components. There's your cardio and your strength training. So what I find is a lot of women always focus on the cardio component of the exercise, which is great. You need some cardio in there, but you also need to build muscle mass. And first of all, I want to say, women, when you build muscle mass, it is very hard for you ladies to look like men, okay? It's very, very hard. You've got to be eating a lot of food. You've got to be training, you know, a lot of hours, and you've got to be basically shooting up steroids to get as big as a man, okay? We don't have it in us to build muscle mass to that extent, okay? You might find that you build more muscle mass in your arms, or, you know, more muscle mass in your legs. It just depends on your body type. But you can train specifically to either create more tone in specific areas, you know, you'll concentrate on more areas than others. But very important that you introduce strength or resistance training to your routine. So, especially if you're trying to lose weight, okay? So, when we try to lose weight, we're not trying to lose weight as in any weight, okay? What you're trying to do, and I say this because I know what your goal is, okay? You don't want to just lose weight on the scales, okay, but still look the same in size. We want to target fat burn, change our body shape, right? Well, not change the shape, but just be a smaller version of yourself. Still hold on to the curves and the natural body shape that you have, but just be a smaller version, okay? And the way you do that is targeting fat, not targeting weight. So weight could mean anything. It could mean muscle mass. It could mean water weight. It doesn't necessarily mean fat, okay? What we want to target here is fat. And the way you do that is increasing your muscle mass, okay? Increasing your metabolism, doing strength training, and then doing little bits of cardio, but not overdoing it with the cardio. You shouldn't be doing hours and hours of cardio a day, all right? All that's going to do is burn your muscle mass, okay? And if you want to be toned, which I'm sure I could be, you know, 99% of you want to be toned, okay, when you lose weight. If you want to be toned, you need to be doing resistance training and strength training, okay? It also burns a lot of fat as well in the hours after you do the strength and weight training. When you're doing the cardio, especially like fasted cardio, it's usually during that time. But when you do things like HIIT training and your strength training, it burns fat throughout, you know, a few hours throughout the night after you've actually finished the session, okay, which is a win-win. So very important that if your goal is weight loss, is that you include strength training into your routine and not just do cardio. If you want to be skinny fat, go ahead, do it, but if you want to create muscle tone, if you want to target fat burn, very important that you increase your muscle mass. And there's other, you know, positives and advantages of strength training and resistance training, from, you know, increasing bone density, things like that that you don't even think about. But if you're a little bit older, very important to increase your bone density, okay? So bone density, you know, it's very important because it prevents you from, you know, breaking bones when you fall over, okay? And especially if you're older, a lot of older people think that, you know, once they reach a certain age, that they should stop training and stop trying to get stronger. But interesting enough, you know, I have an older male client, and he's close to 90, and he is doing a session a week with me, and the amount of strength that he's gained. I mean, look, he can't lift really heavy, but he's 90 years old. The amount of strength that he's gained, and the core strength, and I'm sure his bone density has increased as well. But when I first met him, he couldn't stand up off the ground without really losing his balance and falling over. But now he gets up very quite easily. So things like that, things like balance, your core strength, very important. All these things you probably don't think about and don't care too much about, all right? Because I guess right now what you focus on is, the aesthetic, side, which is fair enough. Everyone starts with the aesthetic part, but there's so many other advantages about, increasing your muscle mass in your body. Very important. And then the third one, obviously, well, the second one included with the other side of the exercise is your cardio. So what we've gone through, you need to be eating clean, you need to have your strength and resistance training, and then you also need a little bit of cardio. And this is if you want to lose weight and fat burning is your goal, okay? Toning, creating lean muscle mass, but targeting fat burn. So very important. Now, the type of cardio you do will depend on your personal taste. I don't believe in forcing yourself to do something that you don't enjoy, all right? Because the aim of the game here is to create a lifestyle, create a habit that you can maintain. So if you hate running, everyone knows it's not a secret that I hate running, and there are people out there that do enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, go for it. I personally don't think it's the best way of burning fat, but if you enjoy doing it, then go ahead and do it, okay? But I enjoy things like going for a walk, and I enjoy HIIT training. So things like boxing is great. It's a great high-intensity interval training. And you only need to pop that in your session like once or twice a week, or you can put some HIIT exercises into your workout routine. So things like burpees, high knees, star jumps, squat jumps, chucking in the rower for a few minutes, sprinting. So things that are going to really increase your heart rate and that are high in intensity are really great for fat burning, okay? So popping a high intensity session in once or twice a week, or popping it in at the end of a couple of resistance sessions is great. It's going to make a big difference, and you'll find after that day that you'll be quite hungry, and that's a key indicator to really know that you've revved up your metabolism as well. So and then other ways of doing cardio is your fat burning cardio. So I like to do fasted walking. So walking first thing in the morning before breakfast. I do that every Saturday because it's the only morning that I have, but I really enjoy it. I love doing it. I love grabbing a coffee, going out for a walk, getting outside, or, if it's raining, whatever it is, I just, I love going out, getting some fresh air. You can also put those types of cardios after your workouts as well, after your strength workouts. It's a perfect time to do those faster type cardios, to the low to moderate cardio, which is walking, because when you finished a strength or resistance workout, or it's first thing in the morning, your glycogen levels are low, okay? So if you were to do like go for a run for a long time after that, your body's just going to start burning too much muscle mass. And it's great to do a run, maybe in the morning time when you've had something a little bit to eat. But you're walking, basically after 20 minutes, your body will start to break down fat, okay, and start to burn that. So very important the type of cardio that you do as well, but at the same time, just do it, okay? If you're trying to lose, if you've got a decent goal, like you want to lose 10, 20 kilos, just get it done. Get in the habit, get out there, whatever it is, doesn't matter, but I don't want you to think that you have to run in order to lose weight, okay? Because I remember when I was first trying to start, and I remember I always thought that running was it, that in order to lose weight, you had to run, and I hated it. And I remember I was like, right, this one day I was like, right, I'm going to go down to the beach, I'm going to go for a little run, okay? So I walked down to the beach and I ran for about 5 minutes, and that was it. I mean, I hated it, and I packed up and I went back upstairs, and I think I had Eagle Boys that night for dinner back in the day. So I don't believe in doing things you don't enjoy. You've got to find things that you enjoy, especially when it comes to cardio, okay? Cardio, I mean, it depends. It depends on you and what you personally like. Some people enjoy cardio more than strength training. Some people enjoy strength training over cardio. But you've got to get all three in there, but find ways of doing it in a way that you enjoy, and you don't have to do it, you don't have to work out 7 days a week either, right? So find a routine that works for you. It depends on your time as well. So if you've only got 20 minutes in a day, still do a workout, but that's a perfect amount of time to do a HIIT training, okay? Get your heart rate really up, kickstart your metabolism, really burn some fat, and you do it in 20 minutes. Make it high intensity, boom, done, okay? So it's just a matter of your personal preference, finding things you enjoy, and really focusing on those 3 things. Very, very important, very important. It gets so frustrating for me sometimes because I can see maybe a client is really training hard. They're doing all the exercise components. So everything I've set out for them, they're doing it. It's amazing, but they're kicking themselves in the foot because they're not getting the food right. Or they're having a few days healthy, but then they sabotage themselves by having a big binge eat or eating crap for a few days. But it's not just one meal here and there. It's like days of crap, okay? So try to focus on those 3 and see what results you actually start to get. Very important. So I just wanted to do this training because I think it might remind people of, you know, the things that'll actually get you there. So those 3 components will get you to your goal. It's just a matter of getting that consistency about it and getting consistency. So don't expect results in 2 weeks, right? You've got to have a decent period of time to get the result. You know, it's taken you years to get to where you are now. So don't expect to reverse what you've done in a couple of weeks. It takes time, and you've got to allow your body to adjust, all right? But slower results will always last longer. Just remember that. When you feel down and you feel like nothing's working, or you can't quite see a reflection of the results for the work you're putting in, just trust the process and keep at it and keep that consistency, and the results will follow. If you are consistent, the results will follow. But it's just that our bodies have our own timeline. And everyone is different. Everyone's bodies will react differently at different times. So it's just a matter of being consistent. Be strict with yourself about the consistency. Set yourself a minimum. Okay, so for example, this week I'm going to do this amount of strength training. I'm going to do this amount of cardio. Make it a minimum. Don't go overboard, because if you don't you know, achieve it or achieve that goal, say you set yourself like, I don't know, 7 workouts for the week and you only do 2, it's a bit of a letdown. So maybe set yourself 2, right? And anything extra on top of that is a bonus, okay? And then get consistent over it. So set yourself a period of time, 12 weeks, right? For 12 weeks, I'm going to do 2 of these sessions as a minimum per week and see how you go. All right, if anyone has any questions, I'm sure you would have written them in the comments box, but just write them in the comments box. I know a lot of you come back and watch these later. I'll be happy to answer them. There's 2 videos. If you've only just watched this one, there's 2 videos. There's one before I lost you guys. I lost my battery, my phone. Anyway, I lost you guys. But you should be able to see it below. So there's 2 videos that you've got to watch with this live stream. Anyway, I hope everyone has an amazing weekend, and we'll chat soon. Bye.